Welcome again to the Tom Sawyer Show. I'm Grant Wall, joined as always by Winona State head football coach Tom Sawyer. And coach, an absolutely great afternoon for you on Saturday, beating Southwest Minnesota State 47-20. You set the tone early, dominated on both sides of the football, and just a great performance all the way around for the Warrior football team.
Well, I think the biggest thing was we got out, like you said, we got out fast. The first drive we went down and scored and got some things happening right away offensively, which we really needed a shot in the arm on the offensive side. But really where the game took place was on the line of scrimmage. And even talking with Coach Sauter after the game and his comments that, we had an opportunity this week to dominate the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball. And obviously if you can do that, you're going to win 90% of your ball games.
Southwest got the ball. They went 3 and out. You forced a punt. You got it right back. Went down, scored. Really, that set the table and set the momentum in your favor coming right out of the gate.
Yeah, it did. I mean, we had a great game plan. We had good balance in our offense. Ran the ball well with a couple different guys, but at the beginning, Rayon was doing his thing. John was very good in play action, and we inserted Brian Bradshaw, got it going a little bit even more in the second quarter, or late in the first quarter. So I think just adding some new things to our offense gave us that spark we needed, and the defense was stellar.
You mentioned John Teaglin threw the ball extremely well, especially down the field. Hit Tyler Spear, 40-yard touchdown. Hit Josh Micas, another 40-yard touchdown. He was really putting the ball where it needed to be on Saturday.
Yeah, maybe we should throw more of those. But and we did throw a couple more. But no, he was spot on. He was 16-23 and threw it very well, and he was well protected. He took a couple shots here or there, but that's part of this league. It's going to happen. But he stood in there and threw the ball extremely well, and I was very proud of the way that he handled the football on Saturday.
That whole receiving corps is playing very well, but especially Tyler Spear over the last couple of weeks has really stepped up, doing what a senior needs to do to make plays out on the field.
Yeah, he's making the big catch, and that's what we talked about the last couple of weeks with our offense, is guys making plays. I mean, you can put him in position, you can call a play, and it only works if we execute. And that receiving corps right now is doing a great job, and what goes unnoticed in that group is they're blocking on the perimeter for each other and or for the running backs. They're doing a great job. And Tyler Spear is a special athlete. He's doing great things. He had one catch, was behind him with one hand. It was awesome. We even tried to have him throw it once. He didn't pull the trigger, but he's a great athlete, and it's fun to use his skills.
On the defensive side of the ball, Southwest came into the game a very potent offense, as we see so often in the NSIC. You held them just to 80 yards rushing, well below their season average, and 200 yards below their season offensive average in total offense. So a game where your defense was really playing well from start to finish.
Well, there was a three-headed monster coming in here. The Matthews and Gannon Moore, the two running backs, and then Pesha, their quarterback, has been very good for a couple of years here. So our defensive pressure was the whole key to the whole thing, both against the run and against the pass. But we put a lot of hits on the quarterback, put a lot of early contact on those backs. They really couldn't get in the open field and get things going. We knew they were talented. We had to keep them off the field. And really, we started to open up the scoring, then it changes what they want to do too. And that was great. I think our defensive coaches did a great job, as well as, especially that front seven.
One of those guys who got into the backfield a lot on Saturday, linebacker Terrell Foster, a couple sacks, a couple tackles for loss. He was a guy who seemed to be around the football all day.
Yeah, he's just like a little kid in a candy store. I mean, he's running around there like a nut. I mean, he's really fun to watch, and every week I tell him just go play like a little kid, and he takes me serious because he really does. He plays with a lot of enthusiasm. He's a great athlete. He's undersized. When you think about playing that position, he just runs around guy. The first sack he had, he just blew the doors off the tackle and went right around and caused another fumble. I mean, he's everywhere, and that's really fun to watch him. We get him lined up right, and he just takes off. He's really very good.
We'll move forward now. Last road game of the regular season at Augustana on Saturday. Augustana, their record may not show it, but a team that's playing good football right now.
They're a very good football team. They went to overtime here again. Last week with Sioux Falls. They're very good. They got another potent offense. Josh Hansen is one of the best in the league in passing. In fact, their offense I think is second in passing behind Upper Iowa. So they're very very skilled. They're a little bit different defensively than they have been. They've been so strong defensively over the years. Maybe not quite that team, but they're capable of winning every football game that they walk into. And we got our hands full going into there for their last home game as well.
7-2. You're 7th in the regional rankings. The new rankings will come out this afternoon as we tape this on Monday. But you're right there in the mix for postseason and the NCAA playoffs. What do you got to do to keep the guys focused on what's ahead of them?
Well, we still can get a lot better. I mean, there's no doubt about that. We played a good football game against a good football team last week, and now the same thing has to happen. And we got to play at playoff level, or you'll drop one, and we just can't afford that. And so we got to go there on the road as if it's a playoff game, like just like if we were going to Northwest Missouri or anywhere else. It's time to play and make plays and take care of the football. It's been kind of our nemesis the last couple of weeks, and we got by with it last week. And so we got to take care of the ball. Got to play a great overall football game. And get away from all the other little stuff that was going on in the Southwest game. Just clean it up, and I think we'll be fine.
Well, it'll be a good game on Saturday from Sioux Falls. 1 o'clock is the kickoff, so we'll be watching for that. We'll be right back. Take a look at Saturday's win over Southwest Minnesota State. We'll see the highlights from that game right after this.
Financial startophobia. Fear of financial endeavors causing putting off till the day after tomorrow that which should have been done the day before yesterday.
If you have financial startophobia, I would recommend Merchants Bank. I had a little touch of financial startophobia, had a good recommendation, I went to the bank and had a great experience. Merchants Bank has personal service. I'm not afraid of anything. They've been around for over 130 years. You know who you're dealing with. Merchants Bank, the bank that service built.
Welcome back to the Tom Sawyer Show. A lot of highlights from that big win over Southwest Minnesota State, so let's get right to those. We're going to start out here. Southwest first possession, Morgan Weaver getting a sack.
Yeah, Morgan's been playing great the last couple of weeks. Again, he's healthy and fast. You take him and Terrell Foster coming off those edges. Those guys get there in a hurry.
This is the first play of the game, Rayon Simmons.
Ray doing his thing. That's Corey Christensen out in front of him, all the way to the safety, and that's a big way to get the game started.
John Taglin threw the ball well. Tyler Spiel caught the ball well all day.
Yeah, that crossing route with Tyler running is kind of a nasty little thing, and one catch, it was unbelievable, but doing his thing.
And this is Rayon Simmons. This touchdown set Winona State's all-time career touchdown record, another feather in his cap.
Well, you talk about David Ludy and Chris Samp, that's pretty good company to be in.
Absolutely. He can catch the ball too, taking a screen pass.
Yeah, and again, guys working outside. We talked about those wide receivers. That core is doing a great job blocking as well as receiving.
Running back position showed its depth. Here's Chichi Ojika, who ran well.
Yeah, Chichi came in the game, did a nice job, and so did Anthony Resnick later in the game.
You mentioned Tyler Spear, deep one from John.
Yeah, the old flea flicker. We've been working on it for about 8 weeks. We finally put it in the game and got a touchdown out of it, so pretty excited about that.
Brian Bradshaw also played some quarterback. Here, a design run that goes for big yardage.
Yeah, he's a great athlete. Like I said in the paper, to have him standing next to me the whole game just doesn't make sense to me. So we tried to do something, change up our offense, and it really worked out well.
And a great hit stopping the Mustangs on third down.
Yeah, Chris Nordgaard doing his thing. It's fun to watch.
Ishmael Karan out of the backfield.
Well, that's his former team. He transferred in here from Southwest, so he was a little extra giddy up in his step, so it was kind of fun.
Defense played well all day. Here's Chris Norgard with a tackle for loss.
Yeah, Chris played well, and you see the pursuit as well. There's Morgan Weaver right alongside of him.
Terrell Foster, one of 2 sacks on the day.
Almost got a fumble there, too. The ball was out, but you could see those guys are flying around.
Now John Taglin going to find his tight end, Jim Montgomery.
Yeah, Jimmy had a great catch down the sideline here. He and Alex Jensen both had a big day at tight end for us.
And then Chichi Ojika with a great run.
Well, you can see the speed he has, and getting down there, got barely tripped up. I got to keep him away from that sideline. It's 2 weeks in a row he got tripped up over there.
Warriors 5 sacks on the day. Here's another one.
Well, it's just, again, we had good coverage. Their protection broke down, and we're just a relentless pursuit to the football.
Quarterback runs, stop him.
Yeah, I mean, that's just something they do very well, especially on third downs, and Ryan Williams on the tackle.
And watch this catch, Tyler Spear.
Yeah, one-handed behind him, and he's just a great athlete.
Rayon Simmons running the football again.
Well, this is Jake Lilla, one of your guests here out in front, making the block and making a couple people miss, and gets all the way down about the 5. Relaxed a little bit. The ball came out, and they spotted, I think, on the 6-yard line, but another big run by Ray. John
Taglin threw 4 touchdown passes, this one to Alex Jensen.
Alex had 2 touchdowns on the game. This one was in the back of the end zone. Great pitch and catch, and I had a lot of fun doing it.
Again, getting into the backfield. This is a big tackle for loss.
Well, again, Ryan Williams made the first hit. He gets up off the ground and he runs and grabs him a second time. So pretty fun to watch.
And another one in the backfield. Here's a sack.
Well, again, pressure inside from the 2 linebackers. It's Ryan Gertz. It's Terrell Foster in the D-line. Keep working there, as you can see. Big sack for the defense.
Brian Bradshaw here. Another nice running play.
Well, again, you see we got the game spread out, the defense spread out there. Rayon tripped on the hash line, but besides that, everybody got everybody blocked up.
Score here on a safety tackling Southwest in the end zone.
Well, that's awesome for the defense. We did a good job of the punt. Jeremy Newman punted it down on the 1 yard line and turned around and got the safety. That's awesome.
Again, going deep. This one, Josh Mikas.
Well, Josh is a huge deep threat guy. He's very fast. He's athletic and big, and for a freshman, he's done a great job. You'll see a lot of him the next 3 years.
A sack once again.
Well, I think we ended up with 4 on the day, but again, it's just relentless pursuit. That's Toby Frisbee running around. They can't block us forever, or hold us, but sure got after it. Here's a big play here by Ian Murray.
Another great trip into the backfield for the Warrior defense. Now we're going to see Chichi Ojika again with another run.
Chichi's, again, using his speed, made a nice cut, getting up the field in a hurry. Guys did a good job, blocking downfield as well.
And watch this. After the catch, Alex Jensen gets into the end zone. Great effort on his part.
Oh, he takes a shot right here in the back of the head. And then look at the block he had by his other counterpart, tight end, Jim Montgomery's freeing him into the end zone.
A great catch and run there. And again, it sounded like a broken record, but here comes the Warriors into the backfield.
Again, you could just see the Peichong was disrupted all day. That might have been the backup already in there, but we got to him. We were physical with the quarterback and physical with the running backs, made a big difference.
Anthony Resnick, the third Warrior running back, who had a great game. There was a run from him. Now here's another one.
Well, he's a sophomore running back, and he does a great job, and very physical young kid for not a very big kid, but very fast and athletic.
See the Warrior defense get in on the quarterback, force an incompletion.
Yeah, that's just a huge hit right there, and that's a redshirt freshman linebacker kid from Holy Angels, so it's kind of fun to watch him start playing around too.
Last highlight, Brian Bradshaw taking himself for the score.
Well, we call it lonesome. You don't put any blockers out there. We just leave it to him to score a touchdown. I'm very excited for Brian Bradshaw with that last touchdown of the game.
Well, that was a fun look at both sides of the football and everything that went into Saturday's win over Southwest. When we come back, sit down and talk to Winona State offensive lineman Richard Lilla about what's going on down in the trenches. Welcome back to the Tom Sawyer Show. I'm joined now by Warrior Junior Richard Lilla, and this is your third year playing on the offensive line, starting at center all 3 years. You guys have a group of guys who have been together for a couple years now. How much does that familiarity on that offensive line help what you guys are trying to do?
Well, first of all, thanks for having me, Grant. Exactly that. There is a familiarity. We guys. Flo was our kind of X factor. He came in here, but he's blended right in with the group. We got Corey, who's a 3-year starter. Pauly, James Pollock, we call him Pauly, a right tackle that's played as a true freshman. We got hurt and got a red shirt, so now he's same class as us again. And then guard, we got Vance, who's come along, and we got Dane Jensen, who is first year. He's played in a lot of games. And you got Powers. We got six. I would say like 8, 9 guys that we can roll through and not miss a step. So I think it's a big thing. We do a lot of things together, pasta dinner and all that stuff. So there's a lot of bonding we do, and feel really comfortable with the group we have.
This is an incredibly obvious question, but how nice is it to have that depth? You've had a couple guys miss a game here and there with injuries this year. How great is it to have depth so that you can plug somebody else into that spot and really not miss a beat with what you're trying to do offensively?
It is awesome. I remember came in, we used to call ourselves the skeleton crew, because it was like, well, I hope we have 5 guys, or we're going to have to buddy tape 2 guys together so they can stand. And it's awesome having, and you saw it in the game too, where our 2s came in and, we went right down the field and scored, so, those guys work hard and just as hard as everyone else, and when they get their shot, they step up and they play well. So.
This year, Rayon Simmons has been getting all the headlines, and rightfully so, setting all of these career records, both conference-wise and school-wise. What's it been like for you blocking for a back like that for these last 3 years? What's it like to know that he's behind you taking the ball?
Oh, it's awesome, because you keep working, and he's a very special player, and we like to say, you got one, we'll leave him one, the safety, and that's his guy to beat. And, that's a perfect world, but there's plays where, miss blocks and he falls down, something like that, and he makes us look good sometimes too. Everybody says, well, the O-line makes him look good. Well, he's pretty special too. So I mean, it's pretty fun. You keep working. Eventually, he's gonna bust one, or he's gonna have a big run. And I mean, he's just a workhorse. You can give him the ball, 30 times a game. And as an O-lineman, we're not one of those super pass-happy teams, and that's fine with me. And I think that's kind of our mentality. We call grind people. So I mean, to have a back like Ray that can just get it 30 times a game and actually wear a defense down. I mean, it's for us. I mean, that's the funnest we can have in a game, something like that.
How much pride do you guys take in what he's able to do?
Well, like you said, the goals and stuff is really big for us. When Ray's going for a goal, we write it down and hey, this is where he's at. This is where we need to get this week. Let's try to get this. This is the goal, all right. And when he got the conference record, it was like, okay, what's next? Well, he's a few hundred yards off the single season one now. So that's the next step. What else record can we break? What can we? How big can we make his conference rushing record? It's something we really pride ourselves on. And he's got the scoring record that he's going after too. So it's how many records can we break and tie to this 2012 team.
You're the center. You're the one who snaps the ball, gets everything going. Just kind of tell me what it's like when you guys break the huddle. Do you and John kind of combine to make some of the calls, or how does it go from everybody together in the huddle to the snap actually happening? What's all that goes into that process?
Well, John likes to think he runs the show,
but it's really the guys up front.
It's really me. No, but we got our play called, and I make a lot of the line calls, and the quarterback will shout out who our mic is, and then I'll dictate our protection to that. And there's a couple times where part of it being John, new system for him basically this year because he didn't play much last year, and sometimes there'll be looks that we haven't seen all week, and we get up there and we're like, John will be like, hey, can we run this? And I kind of take a look around, and sometimes we'll even look at the sideline and be like, hey, are we okay here? And so I mean, we have. I mean, that's big for us is we have great communication. Everybody across the board. It's one thing that we've really emphasized, and over the last couple of weeks, it's really matured like in our communication and making our calls and seeing things. Because you get some guys their first games and big games and stuff. They put on the blinders and it's like, okay, I see the guy in front of me. And that's all. They don't really see big picture. And that's been like a big step for us that we've been taking this year is seeing big picture across the board, not just because if I see something the tackle doesn't, then it really doesn't help.
Right.
So I mean, it's a group effort up there.
Going forward, 2 games left in the regular season. What's the one thing that you guys on the offensive line are trying to keep in mind and trying to do as the season winds down?
Well, I mean, like I said, grind. We physically want to impose ourselves on every team every Saturday, and Matt and
Coach Ulrich, it's hard to go from teammate to coach.
Right. So Coach Ulrich talks about being physical in the trenches, and that's something that we want teams to remember. Hey, we played Winona State. They got after us up front, and and like I said, with Ray and our style, we can grind on teams and really wear them down. And a lot of ball games are won in the fourth quarter, and we've seen that this year with us. And I think it has a lot to do with our, Tuesdays we get after it hard in practice and really work, and so on Saturdays, it's just, hey, it's another work day, bring the hard hat and lunch pail, and let's go out there and get it done.
That's right. Well, thanks very much for joining us today. We'll be right back with more of the Tom Sawyer Show right after this.
Financial startophobia. Fear of financial endeavors causing putting off till the day after tomorrow that which should have been done the day before yesterday.
If you have financial startophobia, I would recommend Merchants Bank. I had a little touch of financial startophobia, had a good recommendation, and went to the bank and had a great experience. Merchants Bank has personal service. I'm not afraid of anything. They've been around for over 130 years. You know who you're dealing with. Merchants Bank, the bank that's service built.
And welcome back to the Tom Sawyer Show. I'm joined now by Winona State assistant coach Matt Ulrich. And Matt, a different chair for you this year. Last year you were on the field going after quarterbacks. This year you're the one coaching the guys, telling them what to do, how to get there. What's that transition been like for you going from being on the field to now on the sideline?
It's different. I'd like to play, but it's been a little tough. I've been coaching the guys that I've been playing with for the last couple of years, and so it gets to it gets to be difficult sometimes because I want to be playing, but I've also, on the other side, enjoyed coaching thoroughly and working with the guys, and they've done a good job of helping me switching roles and treating me as a coach and not as the friend that I used to be. But I've really enjoyed it, and it's different, but I've enjoyed the opportunity so far.
It seems like you go up against a great offense each and every week here in this conference, so many good teams. What's the one thing you tell your guys on the defensive line to do going into these games when they know that there's a prolific attack coming towards them?
The biggest thing that we look for in our defensive line is to be physical. We look to be physical every week, set the tone, because we believe that the game's won and lost in the trenches, on the offensive line and on the defensive line. And then the other thing is to get after the quarterback. We always say the best pass coverage is a pass rush. So if the quarterback's uncomfortable, then it makes for a lot better defense. And quarterbacks aren't thinking about who's open or what reads to make. They're thinking about the guys in their face. So those are really the two biggest things that we look for and emphasize with our defensive linemen, is to be physical, stop the run, and then when it's time for teams to pass, get after the quarterback.
That was certainly on display last weekend against Southwest. I think he sacked the quarterback 5 different times, gave up only 80 yards rushing. A Southwest team that came in averaging over 450 yards a game. What made you able to be so successful against their offense last Saturday?
It was just what I just said. They have a really good quarterback, and he's good when he has time, but he's a different quarterback when he has pressure. He's a big guy. He takes long strides when he throws the ball, and he's really uncomfortable with people by his feet. He's uncomfortable. He's not a running quarterback, so when the pocket starts to collapse, he gets a little nervous. And I thought that was a big key. I thought that defensively we had great pursuit to the ball, so it made the running backs uncomfortable. They didn't have very good reads on where to go. So we stopped the run, and then we got after the quarterback, made him uncomfortable, and he's really good when he has time to throw the ball, but when he doesn't have time, he gets a little uncomfortable.
Talk about some of those guys individually that you have on the defensive line. Guys like Tyler Kubler, Lewis Johnson on the ends, Parker Detgens in the middle. A really, really talented group of guys that you have there lined up on the defensive line. Just talk about what they've been able to do individually. It seems like each one has a great game each week. It's not always the same guys at the same time, but everybody's stepping up when plays need to be made.
Yeah, we have 6 guys that really we feel comfortable with on every snap, whether it's in the red zone, against run, against pass. Lewis Johnson's and Colin McGuire are kind of the leaders. They're the senior captains, so guys look to them. Lewis has been a good player for a long time here. I played with him for many years, and you know that he's always going to have a good game. He's never going to have a letdown. He's consistently good. Colin's a big athletic kid. He's 6'5". He's physical. He plays his tail off. Kubler, not as big, but he's strong. He's physical, and he's explosive. He makes plays. He can pursue from the backside to a play 10 yards downfield and cause a fumble. Will Sherrard's another athletic kid. He's fast. He's got a different tool set than Colin or Lou, where he makes athletic plays. And then Parker has been a big surprise this year. He's had a little different role the last couple of years, and this year there's a hole to fill in the middle with Kyle English not playing. But he has done a great job. He's been one of our best guys week in, week out. He's undersized. He's about 250 pounds, but he plays about 300 pounds. He's a physical guy, and he's been consistent. Toby Frisbee's another guy inside he's bigger, but he's athletic for a big guy, so he makes a lot of plays too. So we have six guys that we really can feel comfortable with every day.
And if you were at Saturday's game against Southwest, you would have seen each one of those guys make a play during that game. So great contributions from everybody throughout that defensive line rotation.
Yep.
Thanks very much for joining us, Matt. That's all we have for this week on the Tom Sawyer Show. We will see you next week. Thanks for watching.